Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Hawkeye, Season 1, Episode 3, Echoes. And hopefully, you guys all saw the Easter eggs that were throughout this episode. Before I get started, let me take care of some business first, then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. So one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button. And if you don't want to be notified, best thing to do is go down to that bell right there. You click on that bell, and YouTube won't notify you when I come on live. So the best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media on there and all the links to my pages on there as well. All right. Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Also, I'm just giving you a little bit of time to hit pause, stop, whatever you need to do. Okay. Yeah. All right. There we go. So this episode is fun. For those of you who, hey JC, for those of you who don't know about the car chase scene, there was actually it's taken from the Matt Fraction David Aja comic that this is based off of, the Hawkeye series. It's a mini series. Sorry, something just popped over here. I don't know what the hell that was. Um, and the car chase scene within the comic is a lot more intense and a lot crazier than what they had here, and also started because of a different story. Basically, the storyline's a little bit different in the comic than it is on the series here. So, hey, JC. JC says, good evening, long time watcher, first time chatter here. Welcome. Welcome, JC. Good to have you in the chat session. So yeah, this was a lot of fun, and we got to see a little bit about Maya Lopez and her upbringing, and of course, her being Echo is what her name is from the comic. Um, yeah, I know the Charger does get trashed anyway. We all come on, you all knew the Charger was going to get trashed. I mean, it goes without saying. So Echo, her ability is kind of the same thing as Taskmaster, where she basically watches people and sees how they fight and can mimic their fight style. And that's what she does. And then she just defeats them by using their own fight style. So, and as we're going along here, her father, William, who of course is played, forget the actor's name, but he's been in fucking everything. And he's a great actor too. So it was nice to see him in that. Her father, William, works for the Fat Man, because if you notice that her auto body or his auto body shop was named Fat Man, auto repair. And I actually have a big arrow pointing towards the Fat Man sign on this thumbnail for this video. The reason for that is the Fat Man is none other than himself, Kingpin. So yes, we only saw his hand and a part of his side there. We didn't see the face, but Kingpin is the big bad for this entire series, which is going to be fucking cool. I mean, I'm hoping they're bringing Vincent D'Onofrio back for this. But yes, Kingpin being the big bad in all of this. And it also ties into the Spider-Man. I'm fairly sure it's going to tie into Spider-Man No Way Home as well in all of this, because Kingpin was actually Spider-Man's main villain. Yes, he does become Daredevil's main villain at one point in time, but Kingpin was always Spider-Man's main villain. And the Sloan company that Kazi works for, when Kate and Clint go and take a look into the records, using Bishop Securities, files there to take a look at Kazi. He works for Sloan Limited. And Sloan Limited is kind of a callback. It's a very, very deep, deep, deep dive of a snitch that worked for Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin. And that's where where it all comes down to. I swear to God, it's just like they really dug into this, really, really dug into this. And yeah, yes, I agree with you, Penn. Kingpin was great in Daredevil. Vincent D'Onofrio is like born for that role. I mean, he fucking makes that role, and I love this. Um, and yes, he is Uncle. That's right, JC. So Uncle Wilson Fisk. JC says, I have a feeling we won't see the uncle until episode 5, the week Spider-Man comes out. I agree with you. We're definitely not going to see him next week. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him until episode 6. But I agree with you. We probably won't see him until episode 5. Just the reveal during the same week as Spider-Man No Way Home. And you know there's going to tie into it. It's got to, since all that stuff is coming out at the same time. And also we get a bonding of Kate and Clint as well, especially with the whole, when his hearing aid goes and, his son calls and, doesn't think he's going to make it home for Christmas and everything. And she's having to translate and, he's going back and forth and all that. So we had a nice little moment there as well with all of that. And, it's nice actually seeing the characters finally jibing instead of just talking at each other, if you will. And I mean, yes, they have that at the beginning because Clint doesn't he doesn't want to be involved in this, but at the same time, it's he has to be involved in this because he's the one who started all of this with Ronan. And he doesn't want her getting killed for something that he had done. And we saw that Ronan was just basically yeah, pre-blip was just going through and killing anybody and everybody. I mean, he was killing low rung villains as well as going into the higher end villains as well. And yeah, I'm fairly sure that Kate knows that Clint was Ronin, but she was trying to get him to admit it and he didn't. So and also I did love her little drawing of the comic accurate Hawkeye costume. And he goes, "What are those supposed to be?" Well, that's a mask, and those are also supposed to be wings, and the H is supposed to be for Hawkeye. And he's like, "Yeah, my wife would divorce me if I wore something like that." And the whole thing about I'm supposed to be a ghost. No one's supposed to recognize me. No one's supposed to notice me. I'm supposed to be a ghost. And the whole thing we're seeing also of Clint um not having a high opinion of himself even, honestly, of what he has done. Um, and that's the one thing you're getting out of this whole series is, yes, he is retiring, if you will, um, passing on the mantle, if you will, that kind of thing. But I don't know, maybe finding some kind of self-worth as a hero and realizing that he actually did help, a lot of people. And like he said, that's what he tries to do. He tries to help people. And that's what this whole thing is all about. Is kind of doing a little more of a deep dive into a character we really haven't had a lot of we haven't had a lot of background on and also a lot of screen time on. Sure, he's been around with, Nat and, the Avengers, but always kind of in the background and always there for one-liners here and there, but never his own standalone movie, his own standalone TV series, that kind of thing. I mean, even Nat got her own as well. So it's yeah. Um, and I did like how he kind of said Ronan's dead and who killed her? Black Widow killed her. So okay, so that's great. So the guy who killed her father is dead, and then the person who killed him is also dead. That makes it fairly convenient. So yeah, they weren't buying that at all. So that was pretty funny. But I do love the trick arrows. The trick arrows were pretty damn funny. When he also pulls out the 3 arrows, she goes, "Wait, those are more dangerous than the explosive arrow?" So, yeah, there was a lot to love in all of this. It wasn't like again, this is not a slam bang, series where you're gonna have a lot of action. It's, again, character building, if you will, of who this character is, and then also introducing his replacement is what's happening. This is Hawkeye retiring is really what this whole series is. This 6 episode series is Hawkeye retiring or mentoring or whatever you want to call it, where he's basically he's stepping out of the superhero role at that point and passing on the torch to the younger generation. And I'm wondering when we're going to get to see these young Avengers come about. I don't know if this comes about in, I mean, I can almost guarantee you that Echo is going to be tried to be recruited by Val, you know, and for the Dark Thunder, or for the Thunderbolts or the Dark Avengers, whatever you want to call it. I think it's going to be Thunderbolts most likely, because that's another common theme that we've had through all these series is that Val has been showing up at the end of every series here and recruiting people that are on the periphery of these series. So there you go. Even Black Widow, the movie, we had, Val come in and she's already recruited the White Widow. Yeah. So good stuff. I'm looking forward to next week. We should have some good stuff going on here. CBM says all Disney Plus series seem to be heavily character development. Yeah, exactly. That's what it's supposed to be. Fahey has said this that the and this is an idea I had a long time ago, especially with the Marvel one shots. If you remember the Marvel one shots they used to have within the DVDs themselves, is you can do the origin stories like this on a series, a 6 episode series, and not have to. It's you're still going to spend the money that you're doing for a movie, but you're going to be able to tell a longer form story, if you will, of the origin, and then you can go into a movie and you can spend the big bucks on the movie. It's the same thing that DC or Warner Brothers is finally getting the idea of as well, where they're doing movies that are specifically for HBO Max with a lower budget, like Batgirl, for example. And they're also doing series as well. So they're going to be doing HBO Max series that are going to lead into the movies, but they're disconnecting all their stuff. So that doesn't make any sense, honestly. But I agree with you, CBM. It is a great use of a serial format, and it's the way it should be done, especially since comics are serial and essentially comics are one big soap opera, is really what they are. And just everyone has superpowers. That's really what it is. And it's never ending. It keeps on going. Unless, of course, with your live action actors get old, and die eventually, that kind of stuff. We all die. So, yeah. I hate to bring a downer on that one, but yeah, they have to change out those people or, you know, recast them, things of that nature. You can't have them doing that forever. You just get too old. Yeah. But some good stuff here. I'm looking forward to next week. We're going to have a lot of fun next week, I think. Especially since we left off with the cliffhanger of Jack with Ronan's sword up against Clint's throat in the Bishop household. And I did love also Clint's commentary. Oh, this is home, huh? So yeah, he goes, I'm in the wrong business as he's walking around. And Lucky still hasn't been named. I mean, Pizza Dog, she did say Pizza Dog, but she hasn't named Lucky as of yet. So, and that's what he ends up being named, by the way, is Lucky, Lucky the Pizza Dog. And I'm looking forward to that too. And sorry, I just laughed because I was thinking of the whole subway scene where he doesn't have his hearing aid in, and she goes, "We got to go walk the dog. The dog's been cooped up all day." And then Clint compliments her on being the best archer, and then he's like, immediately, "We got to walk the dog. The dog's been cooped up all day." you know, so it's a good series. You're having a lot of fun with the characters, a lot of fun with the situation, if you will. And yes, there is some danger, but that the main characters really aren't in too much danger other than trying to find out who the big bad is, if you will. Who's after all of this? Who's after Ronan, really? And of course, it's got to be somebody who's a big boss, like Kingpin. Yeah. CBM says, I feel like we have to watch an Ant-Man reference every episode. By the way, the Ant-Man and Rogers, the musical, the Ant-Man impersonator, now the Pym arrow. I did love the Pym arrow, by the way. Yeah, I forgot about that, CBM. You brought that up. That was actually great. He goes, fire up. And so she just fires straight up and it's coming down and he hits it with the Pym arrow. I thought that was genius and it becomes huge and just rams right through the back of the truck. That was awesome. Um, and no, I mean, yes, I did wear the Ant-Man shirt specifically because there have been a lot of Ant-Man references to that, but I thought that was one of those things I need to wear. JC says, "Do you think Lucky the Pizza Dog will get his own episode, or is that not likely with only 6 episodes?" Or I don't think he's going to get his own episode. It would be interesting, but I don't. An hour long episode of Lucky the Pizza Dog, that could be pushing it. He might get like a couple, about 5 minutes, something like that, but I don't think they're gonna do a whole episode on Lucky the Pizza Dog. They've got a lot of ground to cover, quite honestly. You still gotta figure out about Jack. I'm fairly sure her mom's involved in this, as well. You don't cast Vera Farmiga, excuse me, uh, Farmiga? There we go. And not use her to her abilities, because I mean, right now she's playing nice and blah blah. No, she's not. I'm fairly sure there's something evil intent there, and you also have the Kingpin reveal as well. So I mean, there's those three things there. I wouldn't be surprised if Kate's mom is the one that actually killed Armand and not Jack. So you never know. And yes, you heard that here first. That's my theory on all of that. CVM says an episode from his perspective would be cool. I don't know, man. An episode from a dog's perspective, an entire episode, it could work in a like 13 episode series, but not a 6 episode series. Yeah, I don't know if that would fly, quite honestly. Speaking of the dog, I was just looking at the little dog that's over to my right here. She's just sound asleep on the couch. So, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Funny you should ask. Tomorrow I'm going to be off. Saturday is going to be Saturday morning blast off, where I take the genre news of the weekend and your genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. Sunday I'm off. Monday will be another episode of Spoiler Alert, where we get to talk about anything spoilerific. Um, Tuesday will be another episode. Is it worth my time? I don't know what I'm doing as of yet, but we'll figure it out. And Wednesday we roll back around again to Hawkeye. Yes. JC says, I think Jack is a good person and Kate's mother is up to no good. I do believe her in what she said, everything she does to protect Kate, maybe including the marriage. Yeah. I'm fairly sure that she killed Armand so that Jack would get the money because they're getting married and the home was getting ready to get foreclosed on, or the business was getting ready to get foreclosed on, something of that nature. So, yeah. Yeah, Vera is a great actress. There's a great movie with her and Paul Walker, if I remember correctly, where oh man, there's a scene in there. Yeah, that's all I can say is fuck, I can't remember the name now of that movie with her and Paul Walker. And now I'm gonna have to look it up, and IMDb is butt ass slow. It really is. Uh, but yeah, she does a great job in that movie. And is really fucking frightening as well. In that role, just in that scene. Uh, and in a good way, quite honestly. Okay, here we go. And it is called and I want to say it's like run or something like that, or uh excuse me. And I'm looking, running scared. Yeah, that's the one. Is what it's called. Yes, I will be watching season 3 of Lost in Space. I will be watching season 3 of Lost in Space. But yeah, if you wanna see a really good, like, movie that, really flew under the radar, Running Scared is actually a really good movie. Um, and that's with, her and Paul Walker in it. And like I said, there's a great scene in there with her, confronting some child molesters, and let's just say the child molesters do not do not make it out easy. That's all I can say on that one. That's without any spoilers on that one. Yeah, so definitely give it a watch. Um, so yes, season 3 of Lost in Space might be Is It Worth My Time? Who knows? That might be, what ends up happening since I know that comes out, this week. Is that right? Is that comes out on Friday? Yeah, there we go. Most likely that'll be the case. We'll see how much time there is. So, with that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the rest of the night. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you for coming along this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes out the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button. And if you don't want to know when I'm be on live again next, hit that bell down below. It's a 100% chance that YouTube won't notify you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have the links to my social media on there and all the links to my pages as well. Oh, yeah. And by the way, as you can see off on my right over here, it's just out of camera range. Hang on a sec. Let me actually do it this way. This might work. There we go. So that is an advent calendar there. And each day I open it up and there's a little pin inside of it. Um, and by the time this show ends, I know there's a Hawkeye pin in there, and I know there's a Kate Bishop pin in there. So both those pins are going to go up as prizes, you know, for the end of this series here. And yeah, we'll do giveaways on all that. Even if I have to bust in early to the 23rd and the 24th one, because I know this show ends on the 22nd. Yeah, it ends on the 22nd. So we'll see what happens there. Today's was actually a Scarlet Witch kind of Nagel pin. I can show you guys. I can reach over and not fall. There we go. Yeah. So as you can see, Scarlet Witch, that kind of has a Nagel pin. Wasn't too bad. They're all Marvel pins, by the way. So that's, yeah, they're all Marvel enamel pins. That's what they are. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everybody joining me tonight in the chat. And welcome, JC. Glad you showed up in the chat too. Welcome aboard. Come on in more often. Also, those of you guys lurking out there, come on into the chat. We don't bite. Yeah, everyone's pretty friendly here. So thank you, everybody. I will see you again on Saturday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may need a trick arrow in order to get out of all of that. And, you never want to use those really bad 3 ones because you never know. They could be worse than the explosive tipped arrow. And who wants that? Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Saturday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get those flu shots as well. And I'll see you again. Have a good night. Stay safe out there and see you on Saturday. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.